All right, it is a little bit past 5 o'clock, and so I'm going to go ahead and call this public hearing to order in order to get our role accomplished here accurately. I'd like to first ask, I know we have Alderman Pearson on the line, I know we have Alderman Bastian, and I know we have Alderman Urbis. I also believe I heard Alderman Curry Witzman. Do we have any other members of the city council on the call at this time? Did you hear any others?
That's who I heard.
All right, I believe that is everyone that we have on the line from the city council. I know that I heard Ms. Ripley on the line a moment ago. Here in the council chamber with me is Clerk Hunziker. I also know we have Attorney Blake on the line. Are there any other members of city staff joining the call?
Scott Evans here.
All right, Clerk Hunziker, please show Scott Evans. Are there any other?
Brian Manwaring's here as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manwaring. All right, are there any others joining the call this evening other than those that have already made their presence known? Okay, hearing none. Richard Blake, I think I have a good grasp of the things that we need to go through here this evening, but of course I'll rely upon you to make sure that we cover all of our bases in this public hearing. I know that we need to cover the amount of funds available in this program. The total amount of funds available through the downstate stabilization program is $20 million. Each business is able to apply for up to $25,000 each. And I believe the total amount that is being requested on behalf of the applying businesses in the city of Murphysboro is $78,076.34. Richard, do you think that covers that requirement to cover the funds available?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. We are also supposed to cover the activities that will be undertaken with grant funding and include the amounts of the applications that we received as we have them charted out here. These funds are going to be used to provide working capital for the benefit of Whimsy Photography, and that application is in the amount of $13,376.24. We have an application to provide working capital for the Corner Tavern in the amount of $25,000. And we have an application, funds to be used for working capital for Medwood F. Forge and Design in the amount of $25,000. Richard, is there any other detail that we need to include in this public hearing in regard to the nature of the use of the funds as you understand it?
Do we have any, did you cover Molly's Pine? I was also.
It's my understanding that Molly's Pine, after further review, would not qualify because they do not have any employees. The two owners are the sole proprietors and the only people that are essentially employees of that business.
Okay. I just saw that. I saw Molly's Pine on the notice. Do we have from the businesses a summary of what they plan to do with the monies?
Ms. Ripley, I believe you may have those applications with you. Can you answer that question?
Yes, I've got the project summaries here. The project summary for Whimsy Photography is that they are a photography studio that caters to maternity, newborn, families, and occasional weddings. They've been in business for 10 years, employ a staff of 3. They would use the money to pay bills, cover costs of still being in business but not bringing in revenue. Use the money for basic monthly bills to cover the cost of restarting once the shelter in place is over. That is whimsy. The corner. The project summary for the Corner Tavern states that they will use the funds to retain our employees, finish their construction project, pay utility bills, mandatory bills, and purchase supplies that were lost during the pandemic. And for Medvedev states that they would use the funds to cover 60 days of business in April and May, would take care of mortgage and utilities, payroll, equipment, maintenance, supplies, telephone, internet, development of proposals to get the new jobs in the shop, and administrative costs for running the business. So that's those three.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Richard, do you have additional questions along those lines?
No, I believe that covers what's sufficiently what's going to be done with the businesses with any monies they receive.
All right. Do we have any other questions from anyone on the conference call, on the public hearing, I should say?
Mayor, this is Bill Pearson. Did they apply for this money? Do we okay all of those amounts, or did they just send in the application for those amounts? What do we have to do with the amounts, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, as this is money that would be paid out from the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, the amounts are just simply being run through this process so that they can be submitted to the state for consideration. Does that answer? I don't know if I answered your question, Bill.
Yes, you did. I just didn't know whether we had to okay these amounts, to say, yeah, they get them or whatever. It isn't our decision. We're just submitting the amounts. That's the way I understand it. Okay.
That is correct. Ultimately, we're just submitting these amounts, and then DCO will be the one to evaluate whether they are appropriate or not.
Yeah, that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you, Alderman Pearson.
Mayor, it's Mike. John Irvis.
I heard Alderman Bastian first, so I'll go to him, and then we can go to Alderman Irvis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a quick question on Whimsy Photography. What was the amount they requested?
The amount they requested was $13,376.34.
Thank you. That's my only question.
Mr. Irvis?
I believe the total amount needed to be reduced by the amount that Molly's Pint was going to request, but now they're not. So the figure that you recited would not be that high.
Yes,
like 63,000 something.
Thank you for catching that. Clerk Hunziker, what is that amount?
It'll be $63,376.24.
63,676.
376.
Okay, 63,376.24 would be the new amount, and so I believe Clerk Hunziker has that in the minutes as the corrected amount. Thank you for that catch, Alderman Irvis.
Sure. Do we approve them as a group, or do we approve each one, or how does that work?
Mr. Blake, can you help clarify that?
They could all be approved together.
All right.
It's approving the entire application that the city's going to submit for that total amount.
All right. Thank you for that. Attorney Blake, I also realize here it says a detailed prioritized list of community development housing needs and a narrative discussion of the scope of the project, including the proposed improvements, cost, benefit area, impact on community finances, etc. Are those items part and parcel to what we are going to be adopting in the special city council meeting at 6?
Well, I think that's more so for here. At the special council meeting, we are just adopting a resolution approving the city going forward with this application for the grant, and we're also going to consider an ordinance that will update the city's fair housing code, which is the fair housing code or resolution is a requirement of the application process. The city already has the fair housing code. We just had to update it to include all protected persons under current law. I think here it's mainly just basically going over what the purpose of this is and what is going to be addressed by doing this. I think really just looking at the purpose of this type of a grant, it is really to address. I'm just kind of looking at the guidebook. This is the purpose of this. These are priorities that we're wanting to. The city is wanting to address. Is protecting its economic base, protecting the job base of the businesses in the city, and the negative effects that have been felt by the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, its detrimental impact on small businesses. The focus is going to be with an emphasis on helping persons of low to moderate income. A main concern is addressing issues of housing, making sure there's nobody displaced by housing, or there's no discrimination as to any protected persons in housing. I know these applicants are not to do with housing; these are small businesses, but this is an importance to the city. This is monies that are coming from a federal agency, which their goals are to protect equal opportunity and fair housing. So those are priorities that the city has in looking at moving forward with this type of an application. In recognizing with the COVID-19 virus, the purposes of the city pursuing this grant is to benefit businesses with urgent need. Those businesses that are small businesses that are determined are not considered to be essential, that are non-essential, and those businesses with commitments to remain open or reopen and retain or reemploy people that are not now working, looking to create permanent jobs, retain those permanent jobs to protect the economic base of the employment of those people of the city. Those are the basic purposes and the priorities that the city has in pursuing and moving forward with this grant process.
All right, so with all of that being said, have we covered all the bases that we need to cover in this public hearing to make sure that the applications once submitted are sufficient?
Well, I think we may note that with the city's finances, the city is doing what it can with its, let me get the correct name of the grant program that the city has already established. That was just put in place, MERCE grant program of the city. I cannot remember exact Murphysboro Economic Relief COVID-19 grant program that the city has put in place, and the city has with its available finances made a grant program available to these similar type of businesses that are in urgent need as a result of the COVID-19 virus and the negative impact on businesses. That's something the city has done. So the city, with its finances and what it has available, has done that. And with the city finances, and this is something that will be of benefit to the city as a whole, to the people of the city, to those businesses that are eligible and the negative impacts that those businesses have felt. So, from a financial standpoint, the city is doing what it can, and this is something that will further those efforts to help out those businesses that have been negatively impacted.
All right. All right, but at this point, we do not need a motion or anything of that nature in this public hearing, correct, Mr. Blake?
That is correct.
All right, and so we have stated fully the things that we need to state, and it's my understanding at this point, the only thing that I really still need to do is to ask if there is anyone who has joined the call who wishes to provide public comment. And is there anyone on the call who wishes to provide additional comment, whether it be from members of the city council, city staff, or members of the public? All right, hearing none. Richard, am I good to close this public hearing?
I believe so. I have one question though before we do get off the call. For the special meeting that is at 6, am I going to use the same numbers for this public hearing, or do we have different numbers?
You'll use the same number to call in for the special city council meeting.
Okay, I just had that question.
No, it's
Thank you.
Sure, happy to make that clarification. All right, well, it is 5:20, and we will bring this public hearing to a close, and we will see everyone again here on the line at 6 o'clock. Thank you.